It was Christmas morning in our quiet suburban neighborhood in Raleigh, North Carolina, a place where picket fences and manicured lawns hid simmering tensions. I'm Tom Harper, a 55-year-old retiree who thought he'd left drama behind after decades in corporate life. But that morning, as my grandkids tore into their presents, I learned a harsh lesson. Even in a cozy cul-de-sac, power-hungry neighbors can turn your holiday into a nightmare. This is the story of how I turned the tables on an overzealous HOA president and taught her a lesson she'd never forget. Our neighborhood, Willow Creek, is split by a quirky zoning line. Half the street, including my house, is free from the clutches of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association. The other half bows to its rules, enforced by Margaret Ellis, a 60-something widow with a clipboard and a vendetta. Margaret's latest decree banned street parking from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m., a rule she tried to impose on everyone, zoned or not. I ignored her, assuming my property's exemption would keep her at bay. I was wrong. That Christmas, my house buzzed with joy. My daughter Sarah, her husband Mike, and their 2 kids arrived at dawn, followed by my son David and his wife Lisa. We piled gifts under the tree, sipped coffee, and laughed as the kids unwrapped their treasures. The street outside was lined with our cars, a detail I didn't think twice about. Why would I? My house wasn't under Margaret's thumb. By noon, the mood shifted. Mike glanced out the window and froze. "Tom, where's my car?" We rushed outside to find every vehicle gone, replaced by a single letter from the HOA, smugly detailing how our cars had been towed for violating their parking rule. My blood boiled. Not only was I not in the HOA, but it was Christmas morning. Who tows cars on a holiday? Margaret, that's who. Panic set in. Sarah needed her car to visit her in-laws that evening. David had a long drive back to Charlotte. My wife, Ellen, tried to calm everyone, but the damage was done. I called the towing company, who demanded $2 for 100 plus a holiday surcharge released the cars. I paid it, not wanting my family's day ruined further, but I vowed to make the HOA pay. After the holidays, I reached out to Margaret's office. No response. When I finally got through, the HOA board claimed that since I'd paid the towing fees, they were absolved of responsibility. Their bylaws were a maze of nonsense, designed to protect them. Furious, I hired a lawyer, John Carver, who suggested small claims court, but warned it could take months. He also advised a friendly chat with Margaret to settle things out of court. I'm a reasonable guy, so I gave it a shot. I knocked on Margaret's door, forcing a smile. "Margaret, can we talk about the towing? I'd rather not drag this to court." She smirked, leaning against her doorframe. "I'm glad you're coming to your senses, Tom. You broke the rules." I explained, calmly, that my house wasn't in the HOA, hoping to appeal to her sense of fairness. Instead, she launched into a tirade about how her rules kept the neighborhood civilized and how my defiance would spark chaos. "You're lucky I didn't fine you more," she snapped, slamming the door. That was it. I wasn't just after my money anymore. I wanted Margaret to feel the sting of her own medicine. I started watching her, not obsessively, but enough to notice patterns. Every month, she and her board parked in a clearly marked fire lane across from the community center during HOA meetings. She'd convinced them it was fine, that no one would dare challenge her. I saw my chance. On the next meeting night, I waited until their cars lined the fire lane, then called the city's non-emergency line. "I'm a concerned resident," I said. "There's a fire lane blocked by cars at Willow Creek's community center. It's a monthly issue, and it's a safety hazard." The city took it seriously, dispatching tow trucks within the hour. I lingered nearby, watching as the vehicles vanished into the night. When the meeting ended, Margaret and her cronies spilled out, their faces twisting in shock. "Where's my car?" Margaret shrieked, clutching her purse. The others scrambled, cursing. I couldn't resist. I stepped forward, arms crossed. "How's it feel, Margaret? Someone sticking their nose in your business." Her eyes locked on mine, blazing with fury. She screamed about her authority, drawing a crowd of neighbors who'd wandered over from the meeting. Seizing the moment, I raised my voice. "This woman towed my family's cars on Christmas morning, knowing I'm not in the HOA. She's been overstepping for years, fining you for things she lets her friends do." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. A man in a flannel jacket nodded, muttering about a $200 fine for his mailbox color. A woman in yoga pants chimed in about Margaret's selective enforcement. The air crackled with discontent. The meeting hadn't officially ended, and the crowd, now a mob, demanded a vote. "She's got to go," someone shouted. Margaret pleaded, but the neighbors were done. They voted her out, along with her loyal board members, electing a new slate on the spot. Margaret glared at me, as if I'd orchestrated a coup. Truth is, I just wanted her to pay the towing fees. The revolution was a bonus. The new board contacted me the next week. Using their own rules, they forced Margaret to reimburse my $2,400, no court needed. They also thanked me for sharing zoning maps I'd researched, which revealed Margaret's outdated records had caused years of confusion. With her gone, the neighborhood breathed easier. Margaret, humiliated by constant jabs from neighbors, towed any cars lately, sold her house, and moved away within months. Looking back, I wonder if I went too far. Getting her car towed felt good, but sparking a public uprising? That was bigger than I'd planned. Still, Margaret's reign of petty tyranny had to end, and I sleep better knowing I helped make that happen. Willow Creek is quieter now, the HOA fairer. My grandkids still talk about that Christmas, not for the towing, but for the mountain of gifts and the love we shared. That's the memory I hold on to. What would you have done in my shoes? Have you ever faced someone abusing their power, whether it's an HOA tyrant, a bad boss, or a bully? Share your stories in the comments below, and let's talk about it. Where do you stand on fighting back against injustice? Should we turn the other cheek, or is it time to push back hard? Your voice matters, so weigh in.